believe with every fiber of your being that standing up against this matters. This is how actually dark and ugly. And so when you hear it's a spiritual battle, it's a spiritual battle. I know you work in secular public schools. They're not secular. They are pushing a evil religion right under the nose of the federal government, with the backing of the federal government, with the backing of the United Nations. They are pushing an evil religion through you and your colleagues into children by intentionally traumatizing them, to trauma bond, to bring them into the cult beliefs. UNESCO's written explicitly about this as well. Education for social justice and global citizenship, they say, puts the weight of the world on children. Your older generations, your parents have destroyed the world, and it's all gonna die unless you save it and recycle and care about hunger and the other 17 sustainable development goals of United Nations Agenda 2030. And they said this causes kids a lot of stress, anxiety, depression, cognitive dissonance. What tool does UNESCO recommend to overcome the negative feelings that children have in order to deal with being the avatars of the New World Order that's being laid on them? The whole weight of the world on 7-year-olds. Social emotional learning. The title of the article, look it up yourself, is SEL for SDGs. Social emotional learning for the Sustainable Development Goals. That's what this is about. This is about creating a new religion of sustainability and inclusion, pushing it all around the globe. I talked to a man last fall in November. I ran into a man from Kenya who told me everything that you would have said today in this hotel to me about what's happening in your schools is happening in Kenya's schools. Kenya? Why? United Nations. It's that simple. United Nations. It's that simple. This is actually what you're up against. So what in the world can you do? And this is the inspiring positive part. I already told you that you don't know what the impact will be when you speak up, when you tell the truth, when you're bold enough to do it. My friend Trevor Loudon, I don't know if you know who Trevor Loudon is, but you should look into him if you don't. Trevor Loudon says that courage is proof of faith because it shows that you believe in something bigger than yourself. Otherwise, you would be craven and only care about yourself. Courage is proof of faith. Or another way to put that, the Bible says that faith without works is dead. Well, the bridge between faith and works is courage. It's that simple. And if you want to have that courage, it comes from believing that what you're doing is going to make a difference. That you believe in something bigger and more important than yourself. Maybe it's God, maybe it's the United States, maybe it's the idea of one generation to another in an unbroken chain through all of humanity. It doesn't matter what it is, secular or religious. It proves that you believe in something more than you when you take a risk to yourself, your career, your prospects to stand up, tell the truth, and do the right thing. Trevor also says, the Bible reminds you in the book of James, and I get a little confused about where in James this is, that for he who knows the right thing to do but does not do it, it is a sin. So when you know you should speak up and you don't, you've sold your soul, and you can figure out who you sold it to and enjoy your judgment day. That's not between me and you. So what can you do? You can get in between all of that. By telling the truth, by speaking up. Even if you're one of the people who's decided that you're going to become a long march through the institutions in the other direction, and you're going to play the game, but you're going to shelter kids from it inside. I don't shade you for your lie. That's actually a noble lie. You need to figure out what your talents are, what your gifts are, what you can bring to the table. Make sure you're not doing it for selfish reasons. Read your story of Cain and Abel about righteous sacrifices and which ones are valued, which ones are smiled upon, and which ones are punished. And you need to make the sacrifices that you're able and willing to make in order to make a difference in the world. And it will if you are legitimate in that. It's that simple. Everybody I know who stood up has done this. It has made a difference every time, even in small cases. That person who told Chris Elston, Billboard Chris, the 2 words puberty blockers, had no idea what he was doing. Here's a practical thing I saw earlier. A lovely lady showed me that they had this flyer showing some of the actual graphic images. We know some of the people are going around to school board meetings and reading from the graphic books. Here's an easier thing. Get a backpack or a purse. Ladies, you're ahead of the curve. Buy a couple of these books, put them in it, and when you go in public, show people the physical book and say, have you ever seen this? It's a mind blower. It's not the same as seeing it on the internet, to hold it in your hands and see it in your face. Show people what's really there. Show, don't tell. It changes the world. Stand up, tell the truth. Don't be afraid to speak because you don't know who you're speaking to. These are all invaluable lessons. Something needs to be done by somebody, and I'm somebody. This is something that will make a difference. You need to believe, and I mean you need to believe with every fiber of your being, that standing up against this matters. In religious language, if this is the battle we think it is, you weren't sent here at this time for such a time as this book of Esther. You weren't sent here at this time to be second string on the bench. You got a job to do. And if you're going to sit on your hands, you're not doing it. And for he who knows the right thing to do and does not do it, it is a sin. Enjoy your judgment day. So believe me, you're making a difference. You guys look at people like me and you think, God, James is influencing so many people. He's got thousands of people in the audience all over the country. He speaks hundreds of times a year. I wish I could. He has thousands of listeners to his podcast. He goes on Joe Rogan. I can't do that. First of all, I didn't start that way. I was just one guy who said somebody needs to say something about some of this, and I have a leg up on it.